Welcome to another video tutorial on AMPcms. This video tutorial is on the Forms module. To get to the Forms module, you want to go under the control panel underneath the Content category. Once you're in the Forms module, you'll see a list of all the forms that are installed on your system. You can either edit a form by clicking on the row, copy a form by clicking on the copy link. This just duplicates the form, making it easier to make changes without having to start from scratch. You can delete a form and add a new form. For this example, we're going to go ahead and click on the Add New Form button. The first thing you want to do is type in the title of the form. If you want it to display in the list in a different order, you can set the list order here. By default, you can just leave it blank. The short description isn't required and is not shown to the users. It's only used for your benefit to help you decipher which form you're editing. You can change the button label of the form, include the security code, which is also known as CAPTCHA. This is used to prevent spam from your website. And you can set the email options. This is the email that's going to receive a copy of the form when somebody fills it out. By default, it's set to the admin email. The admin email is a settings in your settings module that you can set. If you don't want it to go to your admin email, you can change it from admin email to list. In the emails to send to, you can put in each email address, one per line. Each one of these email accounts will receive a copy when somebody fills it out. This is how you can send it to multiple email addresses. By default, when somebody fills out a form successfully, they'll receive a green message at the top of the page. However, if you want to redirect them to a different page where you can manage the content yourself, you can put it in the thank you page URL. This could be a page in your Pages module. All you will need to do is copy the URL address from your page and paste it in the thank you page URL. CSS class is for developers and designers. This allows you to put in a class name on the div that's containing the element. For general purposes, you can leave this blank. And PHP function is for programmers. This is the PHP function that will run after the form is submitted successfully. You can also include a payment gateway on a form. In order to do this, you'll need to make sure you have a payment gateway installed. We have Authorize.net installed. So here I can click on the Include Payment Gateway and choose the gateway I want to use. From here you can select the amount, whether the payment is editable. By default it is no. You can change it to yes to allow the user to put in his own payment. This is useful for donations. You can select the payment type, whether it's a single payment, a reoccurring weekly payment, reoccurring monthly, or reoccurring yearly payment. If you select reoccurring monthly, you can also allow the date selection. This will allow the user to select the 1st, 10th, or the 20th day of the month as their payment day. For now, we're going to exclude the payment gateway. You can also send a copy to the user. This will forward a copy to the user's email, showing them the information they filled out in the form. This is also very useful when you're including a payment gateway, as many users want to see an invoice of what they paid for. When selecting Send a Copy to the user, you'll need to fill out some information. First, you'll need to select what the user's email field is. By default, it's just email. You can also change the email from address. When they receive the email, this will be what it's sent from. And whether you want to include a custom message. The last section is the attributes. This is the fields that you want to include in the form. By default, you'll have email. You can add a new attribute by clicking on the Add Attribute link at the bottom right. So let's say we also want to include a full name. In the label, you want to type the name that you want to display. In the type drop-down, you have a few options how you want the field to input the data. You can also select the field to be required. For info, you can provide additional information that will show up in a pop-up question mark. And the CSS class is used by developers and designers if they want a specific class for this field. Once you're ready to save your form, go ahead and click Save. Now that your form is saved, you have to embed it on a web page. To do this, you'll go to the Pages module, find a page you want to embed it on. In your content, place your icon where you want to include the form. Then go to the Includes drop-down, Forms, and select your new form that you created. Then click Save. Now if we go to our website, go to our test page, we'll see our new form. Let's go back to the admin panel and make a few adjustments to our form. Let's say we want to know what state they're from. If we leave it as a text field, they can type in the state. Maybe we want to allow them to select it from a drop-down list. Whenever you're using multiple values, like drop-down, radio, or checkbox, you'll need to provide the values, one per line. Let's save it and refresh our form. Now we can see the state, and it's a drop-down. If we change it from a drop-down to checkbox, this will allow them to select multiple values. Let's go back to our form and make a few more adjustments. Let's include the security code. Let's add a spacer between the full name and the state. And let's also add a file upload to the form. The file upload will add an attachment to your email. Go ahead and refresh the page. Now you can see there's a spacer between the full name and state, and a file upload. We also included our security code. Let's go ahead and add in our payment gateway. You can now see we're requiring a few more details. Full name, last name, billing address. Here's the amount that will be charged, the credit card number they'll have to put in, and the CVV code. You can see that some of them provide the info boxes on the right. To delete the form, we'll click on the red X to the right. Let's go back to our contact form and fill out a message. You can see that our message was sent successfully. Now let's go back to the admin panel. If I refresh the Forms module, you can see it shows how many times it's been captured. You can also export the data. From here you can use Microsoft Excel to open up the data. From here you'll see a list of all the entries that have been submitted in the form. You can see the date, the IP address, the email that it was sent to, then each field that the person filled out. Name, email, subject, and comments. This can be quite helpful retrieving data that which maybe you missed because you didn't receive the email, or maybe you don't have the email with you. So that concludes the video tutorial on the Forms module. Thanks for watching.